Chapter 3. How do I know if using hypnosis is for me? Again, just like in chapters 1 and 2, we will be journaling. So if you'll pause me, get what you need, and then whenever you're ready, we'll get started. One of the key obstacles that people face that keep them from trying hypnosis is the fear that it goes against their Christian beliefs. Some internet searches done by Christians bring up information that hypnosis opens Christians up to demonic influences and shows them other anti-biblical viewpoints of hypnosis. But in 1958, the American Medical Association validated hypnosis as a useful therapeutic tool. Also, the Christian organization Focus on the Family confirmed in an online article that hypnosis is a valid therapeutic tool. So the word tells us that we are to take every thought captive and that we will be held accountable for every word we speak. Have you ever wondered why we are commanded to not just let our thoughts wander, or how exactly God is going to recall every word we speak? I like to use the analogy of our mind being like a file cabinet. From the outside, it appears that everything is nice, neat, and in order. In truth, if you open up a drawer and look inside, papers could be wadded up and randomly placed, and the drawer could be full of trash that was never meant to be saved. Every piece of paper in reality is all of our thoughts, words, actions, experiences, etc. There is a system that God created to help us to organize our drawers and files and to remove anything that never should have been in one of the drawers in the first place. When we understand the filing system and use God's tools to organize our drawers, we can begin the process of deciding which files should be removed. God tells us that no one is perfect at organizing our file cabinets, but He does promise us that the Holy Spirit will guide us, teach us, and bring what we need to our remembrance. Christ, through His sacrifice on the cross, gave us permission to remove files permanently from our file cabinet. Unfortunately, for those of us who grew up in a digital age and an age of immediate gratification, our file cabinet is one of those old metal filing cabinets, and we must do all the work manually. Some people who do not use the tools God provides never fully get their filing cabinet in order. On Judgment Day, they will present their filing cabinet to God, organized to the best of their ability. It may be all chaos and clutter, or it may appear in perfect order, until He starts looking in the files. God will accept your filing cabinet and will reward you with your just reward, loving you and welcoming you with open arms. Other people who do use the tools God provides will present an organized filing cabinet that no longer has misfilings or files that are inappropriate to present to the King. Not only will there be a difference in what we present as our offering, but there will also be a difference in the life we live until we meet Him face to face. Without misfilings, we will have our files in order and aligned with our purpose. Without the hidden files that we hope no one will ever see, we do not have to live a life full of shame and fear. Neuroscience proved that our minds record thoughts as reality, just as our experiences or actions are recorded as reality. My sister was in a car accident and had a brainstem injury that hindered her short-term memory. She kept a diary, and in that diary, she wrote the lyrics from the song Seasons in the Sun by Terry Jacks. She wrote, "Michelle, it is time to die," instead of "Michelle, it's hard to die." Her middle name was Michelle, and that was one of the last entries in her diary. We will never know why at 18 it was her time to die, but what we do know is that her mind was convinced that it was her time. Hypnosis is a powerful tool that God has given us to clean and organize our file cabinet. With hypnosis, you can access forgotten memories, Find misfiled information about those memories, and then decide if you want to keep those memories and integrate them into other parts of your life. On the other hand, you may decide that you are done with those memories and are ready to give them to God so that they no longer influence your life. You will still be able to access those memories at any time, but you do not have to carry them around with you. In Chapter 4, I will introduce you to the first steps of hypnosis, helping you understand the concept of hypnosis and how it can be practically useful in your life. To use our filing cabinet analogy, you will understand how to apply hypnosis to organize your file cabinet. In the next chapter, we will explore the difference between hypnosis, self-hypnosis, and hypnotherapy. All three have the same basic component of occurring in a sleep-like state, but there are some fundamental differences to the application of each one. All three are biblically sound practices, but are used for different depths in the process of organizing our file cabinets. We will liken hypnosis to the step of getting ready to get ready, so we can tackle the task ahead of us, actually dealing with the file cabinet. Self-hypnosis is the step where we set and accomplish the goals of putting labels on our files, removing some of the trash, and straightening out some of the wadded up papers. In self-hypnosis, we determine what we want to accomplish and how we're going to accomplish it. This is also called goal-oriented hypnosis. Hypnotherapy tackles the deeper, sometimes hidden files. In hypnotherapy, you find missing documents and assemble them to complete files. Hypnotherapy also helps you to determine which files you're going to give to God and which files you're going to hold on to. All three levels of hypnosis get you closer to that abundant life Christ promised you. Chapter 5 will introduce the fun step of hypnosis, how your brain reacts to hypnotic suggestions. You'll be given different types of hypnotic suggestions to see which ones respond to more readily. I promise you that you will not cluck like a chicken unless you really want to. You will read the suggestion and then visualize it. You may find that you respond to multiple types of suggestions, or you may find that you don't seem to respond to any of them. However, that doesn't mean that hypnosis is not for you. I have had clients who swore up and down that they weren't hypnotized, yet they snored through the entire session. After you experience the most basic reactions to hypnotic suggestions in Chapter 5, Chapter 6 will delve into how hypnosis can help you specifically. You will identify your goals and determine how you can use the tool of self-hypnosis to reach those goals. You will be physically, mentally, and spiritually ready for your first self-hypnosis session. This will include identifying where and when your self-hypnosis session will occur. Also, you will identify who will guide you through self-hypnosis. It may involve you including someone else who you trust. At the end of Chapter 6, you'll be ready to create and experience your first self-hypnosis session. In Chapter 7, you will create your first self-hypnosis script. You'll be guided step by step on how to create a script and will be given the opportunity to do so. You will also be given examples of other scripts in case you get stuck. Sometimes our filing cabinets are a bit overwhelming and intimidating, so we just want to follow someone else's lead. We will go as basic as the goal of not chewing your nails to as major as running a marathon, which is my personal goal-oriented self-hypnosis script. In Chapter 8, we will answer the question of how hypnosis can truly help you with the deeper things that you're feeling and the more intense experiences that you're still trying to get over. First of all, let me assure you that everything God does is a process. There are so many times in the Bible that God could have just spoken the word and everything would have changed. But that's not how God works. Everything he orchestrates is for a purpose and achieved through a process. On the other hand, Satan is also hard at work. He likes to step into the middle of God's process and try to muddle things up. God knows ahead of time exactly how and when Satan is going to step in. But God's process is never halted nor altered. To us, it may seem like Satan completely derailed us. But in reality, God took Satan's interference into account and uses that as part of our process. In chapter 8, you will come to understand how our filing cabinet only needs to contain files pertaining to God's work and process, and all of Satan's interference can be discarded. In chapter 9, you will prepare and use a script that is more reminiscent of hypnotherapy. You will delve into one of those deeper concepts that were identified in chapter 8 and will be guided through separating God's work from Satan's interference. You will be given a file that you will be able to pull out and delve into anytime you desire. This file will be the foundation and instruction manual for creating the rest of your filing system. Jesus is waiting for you to create this file and will rejoice with you once you have it. I'd like you to take a moment to journal now. How are you feeling about the process? What does your filing cabinet look like right now? I'd like for you to think about these scriptures, about taking every thought captive. 2 Corinthians 10:5. About being held accountable for every spoken word. Matthew 12:36. That everything is a part of God's process. Romans 5:3-5.